Here's my top 7 plyometric exercises that you can do without the need of a track to train like an athlete. But there's just one thing I need you to understand first. This is page 1 of my full plyometric blueprint. All the way on the left you have deep tier plyometric exercises. These are not true plyometrics. Next to that you have a graph that looks like this. Your plyometric exercises can be split up in 4 groups. In the first group we're working towards starting strength or absolute strength. In the second group we're working towards rate of force development. In the third group we're working towards elasticity of the body. And finally in the fourth group we're working on absolute speed. You will also see that I put a link to the plyo screen in the description. This screen will tell you exactly which of the 4 you need to focus on the most. Now let's dive in. All the way on the left we had our deep tier plyometric exercises. The first one is split squat hops. The reason that deep tier plyometrics actually aren't plyometrics is because the ground contact time is too long. This makes it that you're not working on the tendon, but you're working on the muscles. If we're doing hops in deep positions, we're actually increasing the range of motion within the muscles. It's not what's going to make your plyometrics better, but it is what makes that you can keep doing them in the long term. You can do these before your session or superset them with exercises where you're strengthening through full range. Our second exercise shifts us straight away to the next group. This is where absolute strength and starting strength are the main goals. In this category, your focus is going to be on non-counter movement plyometrics. This means you start from a still position. Seated box jumps or seated broad jumps are one of my favorites. If you're trying to improve force from a still position, these are your go-to exercises. Our third exercise is still in the same category, but this is where we're going to look at things differently. When we're trying to move like an athlete and we're trying to produce a lot of force, it's very important we're also able to absorb a lot of force. This is where things like depth drops and single leg depth drops or snap downs are your go-to exercises. You'll have to learn to absorb high forces very fast. Exercise number 4 brings us into the next category, which is rate of force development. This is where we're using a dip and go to create as much force as we can as fast as possible. Things like broad jumps, triple jumps, single leg broad jumps, these are your go-to exercises. You could also go for counter movement jumps. For number 5 we move again into the next category. This category is where elasticity lives. We're now moving from a dip and go to continuous movements. Lateral skaters is a very good exercise to improve change of direction. When we're trying to move fast on a field, we need to be elastic within changing direction. That's probably one of the main reasons why I love lateral skaters so much. There's also a lot of other stuff we can do. For instance, we can load it with a mat ball, or we can go from a skater into a single leg hop. Then for the last 2 exercises we get into our last category, which is going to be reactive plyometrics. Now exercise 6, pogo hops, is one I really love. If you want to do plyometrics, your tendons need to do the work. Pogo hops are a very good exercise to learn you to get a good rhythm, to use the Achilles tendon and to be bouncy. It's also a really good one to prevent shin splints from coming. But the one mistake people make is they only start doing this when it's too late. Pogo hops work as a precaution, not as a fix of issues. So you definitely want to include this one early on and keep doing it for the long term. To finish off, our last exercise is drop jumps. This one is a master exercise to learn to pop off the floor fast. It doesn't get much more reactive than that unless we're talking about sprinting. Which, by the way, is my number 1 plyometric exercise. However, today I'm talking about the non-track version. But just knowing the top 7 exercises isn't enough. Let's talk about a few very important things you need to know as well. First of all, you want to do your vertical over horizontal work to a 2:1 ratio. Meaning you can aim for doing double the amount of vertical plyometrics in relation to horizontal focused plyometrics. Secondly, aim for 3 to 4 sets of 3 to 6 reps. The more intense, the less reps. So the only one that can go higher are the pogo hops. Then finally, you need to do this at the beginning of the session when you're still fully fresh. All of these are fully covered in the free plyometric blueprint. So go to the description below, fill in the screen, find out which jumps you're missing and get the blueprint. But if you truly want to understand how I look at athleticism, go have a look at my video where I explain my ARC performance framework. This explains everything from beginning to end on how I think about athleticism.